What is happening? What is up? It's your boy Hulk Bets. This is the plays for the full slate NFL Week 4. I'm going to give you 3 to 4 plays with a little bit of the breakdown of why I like them. But first, got to play that sweet music. The first play I like this week is on the board here. Tony Pollard from Tennessee, anytime touchdown. It's a plus 180 on DK. Part of why I love this line is just the odds you're going to get. Some of these guys, like David Montgomery, who I have interest in always, of course, because he scores every single week for Detroit, it's a minus 135 right now. Give me the red zone running back on a team in a close competitive game that I think they should win. I mean, my goodness, they should be able to beat Miami with either Skylar Thompson or Tim Boyle or Tyler Huntley starting at quarterback. So in a game that at the very least they're going to be competitive in, give me Tony Pollard at a plus 180 to score a touchdown. Miami is allowing 1.7 rushing touchdowns per game. That is one of the highest rates in the league on the season. They're also allowing the second most red zone fantasy points per game to opposing running backs. Pollard has received all of the team's red zone carries on the season over Tajee Spears, getting 3 or 4 a game. I think he's got a great shot at pounding one in this week, getting the anytime touchdown, and cashing us out at a plus 180 on DK. Hey there. You like what you see? Why don't you like the video? Looks like a little bell. Ring that bell. And while you're at it, maybe subscribe to the channel. Now, it's always dangerous when you're talking about the Miami Dolphins because they have so many guys that can catch the ball and then take it 90 yards for a touchdown, all on their own, all the yards after the catch. However, I do think since I like Tony Pollard so much in this game to score a touchdown, I think it's interesting and probably worth a little sprinkle on the first touchdown as well for this game at a plus 750. Obviously, shop the odds, see what you can find, but I think this is an interesting play as well because I do think Pollard gets a touchdown. I think it's very likely he gets the first touchdown of the game. Not so much likely where you should put a half unit or a full unit on. Let me just make sure I make that clear. But I do think that it's a good chance that he scores the first touchdown of the game. So I'm going to sprinkle probably like a tenth to a quarter of a unit on this as well. Now, the next play I have is a little bit of a recency bias play. We saw Mike Evans come out last week and get absolutely locked down. Who hasn't by Patrick Surtain? All these NFL receivers have struggled against him both last year and this year. Mike Evans was no different, had a very quiet week 3 game. I expect Mike Evans as Baker's still number 1 target, I believe, this year. Even with Godwin's emergence, we love slot Godwin. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but I think Evans has a great bounce back opportunity, and his line is very, very low at 59.5 on BetMGM. It's 60.5 over here on DraftKings. I'm fine with that. I don't think it's a big difference here, but you can get the same odds at the slightly lower receptions on BetMGM. But I think a lot of this is to do with recency bias. This is a guy we saw at 80.5 receiving yards many times last year, and he exceeded that line many times. He's always a risk for going 100 plus. I think that the public will shift onto Godwin, which is why you could see his lines a little bit higher and a little bit juicier. I'm fine with Godwin. I like Evans a little bit better to bounce back in this spot. Eagles are allowing the 4th most yards per reception. That's Evans' game. The deep ball stretching the field. Godwin's playing more of the slot to mid-range. Evans has always been the deeper target guy. I like Evans in a bounce back spot. Literally, he could get 2 catches this week and exceed this 59.5 or 60.5 line. Evans is a great play this week at 60.5 or 59.5 at a minus 110 or a minus 115. Listen, guys, I was just playing around a little bit with an SGP for this game because I do think there's some good stacking potential here. Now, whoops, let me get over to the right screen here. There we go. I'm interested in a Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. Of course, why wouldn't you be? But it's a minus 140 on DraftKings, so I'm not going to play that as a straight. So if I wanted to build out a little SGP, I start with Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. Then I throw in Chris Godwin, 50-plus receiving yards, Mike Evans, 60-plus, Baker Mayfield, 200-plus. Very, very concentrated targets, even with the emergence of Jalen McMillan, and then you've got K-Dot in there. But most of the targets, most of the yardage in this offense is going to come from one of these two guys. Now, if we want to bank on an explosion week for Mike Evans, then maybe we do 80 plus, and you get that at a plus 650. Highly correlated stack here with Baker Mayfield throwing passes to Godwin and Evans, both of them hitting decent yardage props, receiving yardage prop. That would propel Baker Mayfield over this 200 plus line easily. I mean, because if these guys both hit 50 and 80, you're already over halfway there. And then a Saquon Barkley touchdown, as he's done all season. This is a nice little plus 650. This is how you want to be building your SGPs. Don't just be randomly clicking people. If you want to alt the lines, I'm fine with that, but make it make sense. The plays have to fit together like the pieces of a puzzle, all right? Just picture you're putting together a nice puzzle here. The pieces have to go like this. You can't just be mashing in circles and square holes, chaos, dogs and cats, anarchy, all right? This is how you'd want to do it. This is a nice plus 650. Now, a couple little plays I'm looking at. I already alluded to David Montgomery touchdown. I think it's a minus 130 or minus 135. Get it before it's unplayable because it's borderline unplayable right now. I'm interested in that. I'm also interested in DK Metcalf this week. DK Metcalf gets a prime time matchup coming off of two back-to-back hot games where he's really starting to click with Geno Smith and this new offense. And he gets the team giving up the most receiving yards per game to opposing wide receivers. I love DK's line at 62.5. It's just far too low. I think DK is actually in a prime spot to even consider laddering his yardage, 80 plus, 100 plus, maybe throw in a touchdown there as well. DK is in a great spot. He's a guy I like this week. VIP got that earlier, and I'm giving that out to you guys for free right now. Guys, I've got a handful of other plays. I've dropped them in the VIP channel. Click the link below. Down below, all my links are there. Follow me on all the social platforms. Like the video, comment on the video. Do me a favor, please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like this free content. That's what keeps me going, putting out new videos for you guys every single week, multiple videos a week that hopefully are helping you line your pockets. But if you want access to all the plays so you don't miss out on any of the profits, any of the action, any of the insight, click the link down below. I appreciate you guys checking out my video. Have a great week. Hopefully you guys have a huge profitable week 4. And remember, bet smart and win more.